Hey folks, welcome back to episode 17 of the Social Media Stewards F1 podcast, and we are back from the break. It seems like it's been ages since we've seen a race, but it is race week. We've got Miami coming up on Sunday. Cannot wait to see everything that the teams are bringing to the cars, because apparently there was loads of upgrades, which we'll get into. But before we dive into that, very quickly, last week Mark and I went to the MACH show in the NEC in Birmingham, which is a show put on every couple of years where they kind of show the latest and best of all the CNC and milling and machine and tech. Yeah, it's Mark's game. It's what he does for a living. This is why we go. It's such a great show to go to, and the reason we went and recorded a few bits is because actually it's more linked to F1 than people realize. In fact, one particular team was represented there in Haas, who are there every year with their machines. But after we go over the news and everything F1 related, we'll have a quick chat about what we saw last week, and we'll leave off this episode with something different, a few videos that we took whilst we were there. But buddy, it has been a ridiculous amount of time since we last saw a race.
It has been longer than the Lord of the Rings films, and it's not funny.
No,
I'm starting to turn funny shapes. This is not cool. I need F1 back in my life.
It's almost like we've had an off season in the season.
Do you know what? It's almost like we should be starting 2027. This feels wrong.
Yeah.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
But finally, we are back to a race week, and I could not be more excited.
Yeah. And a good track to be coming back to be fair, in Miami.
I like Miami. Yeah, even if it does have wooden lakes, I still like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves and look at the race, obviously, whilst you've been off the last few weeks, the FIA and the engine manufacturers have all been sitting down together, going over ways to improve the racing that apparently doesn't need improving, according to Stefano Dominicelli. He's been saying that
people are always wrong.
The casual fans see it as exciting racing and don't really know anything about the technical side of it, so why should it matter? Is basically the gist of what he's been saying in interviews.
Yeah. So basically, nobody cares about the fans, only the casual ones.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
nice.
The basically everything I've seen from him, he's trying to gaslight the F1 fan base into believing that actually no, the racing's fine, you're the problem.
Yeah.
Which is not a good look.
No.
And I think if he carries on with that rhetoric, he'll put off a lot of long-time fans. You can see the social media discourse already. Yep. They're already kind of going, well, if this is the way F1's going, I need to look at another discipline of racing.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's definitely something that they need to keep an eye on. I think he's really pushing people away and pressing the wrong buttons.
I think there's just ways of wording things, isn't there? I mean, if he'd have come out and said, look, we've gone for this new set of regulations, some things have improved, there is a lot more overtaken and things like that, but we know we haven't got it 100% and we're working on it. You can take that, you know what I mean? Fair enough. But to just ignore everyone's concerns and criticisms and just throw it away like it's nothing, well, it's not nothing, is it? Yeah. And what other sport would want to get rid of their original fan base? Why would you want to do that? Why?
I mean, one of the things he said pretty much was an overtake is an overtake. There's no such thing as like a fake overtake. And technically I could see what you're saying. One car has passed another car. But
yeah,
when you dig down into it, they've only done that because both cars cannot operate at their peak at the same time.
Yeah.
One's got a battery,
yeah.
one hasn't. Therefore, it is basically a manufactured overtake. It's not actual racing. It's not wheel to wheel. I've got the better of you. I've lined you up. I've overtaken you in a spot that you were trying to defend.
Yeah.
Technically, he's right. An overtake has taken place.
Yeah.
But it's not racing.
Well, the problem is you can say that all, people can say that all they like, but it's only the same as when we went through all the papaya rules nonsense of last year. It's like, well, a win is a win. There's no such thing as a fake win. It's like, yeah, but if you're forced to trade places just because the team's told you to, it's not really a full on win, is it? You know what I mean? You still get the points, but it takes the shine off. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing with it, isn't it? It's not that the people don't deserve the overtake or anything, and it's not the driver's fault. They've got, an extra 30 kilometers an hour than the car they're overtaking. That's not the driver's fault at all. But it's certainly not hard earned like what we've come to see in years gone by. That's the problem with it, isn't it?
But I also think about, though, what Lando Norris said about that overtake on Hamilton. He was like, I didn't want to overtake him, but the battery decided that I was going to.
Yeah, it's like the driver's on in control.
Yeah, so you're like, so it's obviously a manufactured overtake. The driver can't say, no, I'm going to sit back and wait to attack. Because the car's going, no, we're going now.
Yeah.
It's manufactured.
Of course.
And the fact that he's sitting there doing all these interviews and just trying to gaslight the fan base into believing that they're wrong and actually the racing's the best it's ever been. Like, it clearly isn't. More overtakes does not mean better races.
Of course not. No.
And I think they've got that wrong. But the teams did sit down with the FIA throughout the start of April, and then again on the 20th of April, and they have decided on a range of measures preliminarily to make things more manageable on the power side. So I've got the official FIA. Let's get back to the top there. The official FIA website announcement for it. And they've broken it down into a couple of different sections. So we've got qualifying, race start, and then wet conditions.
Yeah.
So for qualifying, they're basically reducing the permitted recharge from 8 millijoules to 7 millijoules. So that they don't have excessive harvesting and encourages more flat out driving.
Yeah.
Which tells me they're acknowledging the cars can't go flat out for as long as they want to, which is a good thing. They're actually acknowledging that internally, which is good. And this change targets a maximum superclip duration reduced to approximately 2 to 4 seconds per lap. So it's not going to eliminate superclipping.
No.
It's just going to shorten it. And then what was interesting to me is the power increase. They've increased the superclip power from 250 to 350, so it's going to hit 350 before the superclipping comes in. But they're bringing that to the races as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is good, because then you don't want to see the cars go flat out as flat out as they can in quali, and then just be kind of reined back. And so the number of events where alternative lower energy limits may apply has been increased from 8 to 12 races. So when we were looking at the start of the season, they said they were going to adjust things race by race. They've kind of gone, well, there's more races we need to look at, it looks like.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's going to be a lot of the races where we've got the longer straights, like Miami, like Vegas.
Yes. Spa,
things like Spain, things like that. So it's good that they're looking at ways they can increase the time that the drivers can be at full power.
Yeah.
But it still kind of misses the point for me. And I know this is like the first steps in it, like, and
Yeah.
possibly going to look at. But if you're having to look at ways to adapt the racing so they can go flat out for longer, there's a fundamental issue already.
Of course, yeah. What this has turned into now is, when you get those remote control RC cars, and if you want yours to be a bit quicker and last a bit longer, you end up buying a slightly bigger battery than your mate. That's what it's turned into.
Yeah.
And then all you're going to do now is tune the map on that battery and on the ECU to make it go longer or shorter or faster or slower. Or it's it's daft. It's utterly daft. It used to just be down to who made the best engine.
Yeah.
Now it's down to how long does your battery last, or how long are we going to make your battery last in a race?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
lap.
that's it. In the when talking about the peak super clip, that's like, this is to reduce the workload on the driver with on the energy management workload, and you're like,
yeah,
that energy management is not something a driver should be concerning themselves with.
Nope.
At all. The battery should just recharge when it can, and then they should have a little bit extra if you want to deploy on some of the straights for some extra speed. It shouldn't be, watching battery levels here and there to enable things. That's not what a driver should be doing in the slightest.
No, of course not.
And I mean, they said like these. Sorry, that's on the quali side of it, and I think the right steps in the right direction for us to get flat out quali, because that's what you want to see. You want to see lap after lap in quali where they are just absolutely nailing it, shredding those tires for a couple of laps and then bringing them back in. Which we haven't been able to see because they've had to do so much managing, and then had to do like really, really kind of slow lift and coast laps in between in order to get that battery back to go again. So steps in the right place, but I think they do show that there's a fundamental issue that they're maybe trying to ignore a little bit, and that is the reliance on the battery. Is stupid. It shouldn't be there. For the race though, improve safety and consistency performance. The maximal available power through the boost in race conditions is now capped at 150 kilowatts, or the car's current power level at activation if higher, limiting sudden performance differentials. Now, I think this is in response to the Behrman Colapinto thing, because they do say these measures are designed to reduce excessive closing speeds. So in order to prevent excessive closing speeds, we're just limiting the speeds, essentially.
Effectively.
We're going to make the cars a bit slower in order to stop this potential hazard.
And I mean, I thought it was bad with Toto Wolff's comments, just playing it down as though it was, well, it was just a racing instance. It is what it is. You're like, no, this was caused by the massive speed differential between the cars. Don't play it down just because you've made a good car this season and you don't want to see any changes, because that's the only reason he's playing it down. And I've got great respect for Toto Wolff, but I do think if that was one of your drivers that had that crash, you would be complaining about that. Do you know what I mean? That's Tom bottom of it. There was no driver error in that crash at all.
No,
that was all down to the speed differential.
That's the problem. And I think even people blaming Colapinto for being slightly wide, he was not at fault there. He was lining up his own corner. He was out of battery. He was lining up his own corner. There was nothing either driver could do in that situation. I don't think. They've made a change on deployment. So you've got the 350 kilowatt deployments, which they mentioned in quali, but it's not for the whole lap though. Right. It's only on the acceleration zones. So corner exit. To get them up to speed quicker, I think is. which in my mind, I'm like, that's not where the problem is. The problem is at the top end.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, past the corner exit, we might see some racing and some lineups to get people on corner exit. But I don't. Again, is that a way of manufacturing a bit more exciting racing whilst they're trying to figure out the overall problem?
Yeah, I mean, the problem for me is that's not the painful bit to watch, is it?
No.
The painful bit to watch is when they go in full pelt and then run out of energy, and the next car just sails on by. That's the painful thing to watch. Corner exiting, I haven't found that painful to watch. It's not the bit that's hard to watch.
No.
It's it's the faked speedometer on the halo when you're watching the onboards and things like that. It's you can hear the engine tailing off, but they've got that speedometer still reading exactly the same until they hit the braking zone. And you're like, I can hear that thing slowing down.
Yeah.
You do realize that, don't you? That's painful. That's really painful.
And I know some people might be like, well, hang on, with DRS, we had people just sailing right by. And yes, we did. But actually with DRS, there was a lot the driver who was being overtaken could do to try and defend it.
Yeah.
It was only basically an extra bit of, or a little bit less drag to help the car catch up. You both still had full power in your engines. You both could still deploy your battery. So your defending car could line up. They could try and break the toe. They could try and kind of line it up so they could get the attack out of the exit, rather than just be a sitting duck, which is what we're seeing now. Is if you haven't got the battery, you're a sitting duck.
Exactly.
So I do get that some people would be like, well, DRS, we had the same issues of people just sailing by, but it wasn't that clean cut.
It wasn't the same.
No, it really wasn't. But yeah, they basically say, these are designed to reduce excessive closing speeds whilst maintaining overtaking opportunities and overall performance characteristics.
If that's what you want to say, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to maintain the same performance characteristics at the moment, that's on you. It's not a great look. Here's an interesting one, though, is the race starts.
Oh, yeah.
A new low-power start detection system has been developed capable of identifying cars with abnormally low acceleration after clutch release. In such cases, an automatic MG UK deployment will be triggered to ensure a minimal level of acceleration. And mitigate start-related risk without introducing any sporting advantage. If you get away from the line slow, the battery's going to kick in and help you to take off, but that's not going to give you a sporting advantage.
Yeah, so the way they said it when they explained it in an interview is they said it was almost like ERS. So it would be almost like if you deployed a bit of ERS just to get you up to pace. In which I think this system obviously only kicks in until it reaches a certain point, and then all of a sudden it knocks off. Yeah.
And I get that, but how it doesn't give you a sporting advantage, I don't understand. Because if that kicks in and stops somebody from behind you from being able to, who's got a better start, maybe they're 2 spots behind you on the grid, they get a better start. But by the time they've kind of lined up, that's kicked in and you've been able to.
Yeah, I think it's from what they were saying, it's limited. So if you get a bad start, you won't be outperforming the cars around you that got a better start, but you won't be going into anti-stall, so you won't just be a sitting duck crawling off the line. You see what I mean? So it's trying to negate that safety thing.
I think it was like, I get obviously the issue with Lawson and Colapinto nearly going. I get that, and completely the safety. And we talked about this. I'm well up for looking after the safety of the drivers.
Yeah.
But if you don't get away from the line, you shouldn't be helped by a battery that nobody else has got. That's what I'm saying. There's like, if your car goes into anti-stall, like because you didn't get away from the line the way you were meant to, everybody's going to go past you, and that's what should happen effectively. If they're worried about the low power thing, why not adapt what they said about the longer starting time, so everyone can build the correct power, and then nobody gets that extra battery and that. And I know some teams were against it, like Ferrari and things like that, but instead of bringing in a whole new system, you could allow the cars to build up the turbos and then go, which would avoid the anti-stall.
I get that.
That's why I'm thinking in my mind, because you're saying it's not going to give a sporting advantage, but it is going to help you get away if you get a bad start.
Yeah. I understand that side of the argument, but I think we can't have it both ways, in the fact that we can't say that thing is unsafe, like the closing speeds, you need to change that, and then say the starts are unsafe, but we don't really like the way you've changed it. Do you know what I mean? I understand if you change the starting procedure, but there is still nothing to say that you're not going to get a bad start, even if because the cars aren't reacting the same to each other. Even that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's nothing to say that anybody couldn't get a bad start on any race in any year prior and go into anti-stall. Like, I get there's a lot of. I maybe I'm kind of overlooking the battery side of this a little bit too much, and I'm willing to think on that.
No.
It just feels like you're not going to get a sport advantage, but you kind of are.
I know what you're saying, but I don't think it's as clean cut as that. But the only way we're going to see it is actually see it in action.
Yeah.
I think the thing with that is you're not going to get a sporting. The way I see it is, it's not a sporting advantage because you're not going to go from just about to go into anti-stall to, wow, I'm going at MACH Jesus like everyone else. You are going to get off the line, but in a safe manner, but you're still going to get passed by everyone else. You're just not going to be standing still. You're not going to be the bollard on the track. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's just what I saw in an interview. How it actually performs in person, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not defending it. I just think
in my mind, the sporting advantage is that you've been helped off the line.
Yes. Oh no, I completely understand that.
I mean, if they kind of put like without any lasting sporting advantage, I don't know, maybe I'm looking too much into it. They have said though that obviously in the next point that a warning system, a visual warning system, will enable cars behind to let you know when that kicks in, so you can take avoiding action if you need to. And also a reset of the energy counter at the start of the formation lap has been implemented to correct previously identified system inconsistency. So I think that was like some was like showing that they had no battery. And things like that after just doing the formation. So like as you say, time's going to tell if any of these will actually make the racing better. We'll see at Miami because it's going to come in at Miami. I don't think we're going to see the wet condition thingy at Miami.
They have got thunderstorms.
They
for the race by the looks of it predicted.
Oh, okay, I'd missed that.
Yes, so they are predicting thunderstorms for the weekend, in which I've been in Florida, Miami when there's been a thunderstorm, and you don't get thunderstorms without rain.
Yeah, I've seen the video that from when.
Oh yes, so we could be in for a bit of rain this weekend, but we shall see. The thing is with rain in places like that, it can be the worst rain you've ever seen for an hour solid, and 20 minutes later it's dry as a bone, and you're back in your shorts and going to the beach. So it all depends when it falls over the weekend. It could affect the race. It might have absolutely no bearing on it. It might just take all the rubber off the track. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we'll see on that one.
So the wet conditions that they've agreed on, higher blanket temperatures for the intermediate tires. Nothing mentioned about the full wet tires. Higher,
well, that's because they don't let them race in them. They just red flag it.
Just red flag it nowadays, don't they?
So what's the point?
Yeah, so higher tire blanket temps, which
Yeah.
That's only a good thing. You need the temp. Maximum ERS deployment will be reduced, so lower torque and better car control.
Yay, slower cars.
And again, rear light systems have been simplified with clearer and more consistent visual cues to improve visibility. I've often thought that these rear lights should show different colours for the different states of the car. This is just a
What, like
side thought.
red if it's crashed, green
So-
if it's okay?
So like red in the rain, so you're highly visible. So if a car's recharging, maybe blue. Just so
Right.
so there's a visual cue to let us, in terms of safety, to let the driver behind know what to expect. Am I going to close in
Right.
on this car like super quick because they're recharging, or red in the rain just so you're aware of where they are, obviously through the mist and spray and stuff like that. And flashing yellow hazards if it's an Aston Martin.
Always, even in the dry.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then they signed off with Mohammed Ben Sulayem, basically quick statements praising everyone for all the work across the gap, the unexpected gap in the season.
Yeah.
And collaborating to work this all out. It very much looks like a stopgap for me. Just looking across that, like, we haven't got the time to make meaningful changes to the regulations.
Yes.
They're not going to be able to do that mid-season. But will this limit the pain for the rest of the season, whilst they think about ways to improve the overall regs? Like,
yeah.
putting an actual engine back in the car.
A proper one. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we'll get our first look at this on Friday, won't we?
Yeah. And in the sprint, really, as well.
Yeah.
Practice is hard to tell, isn't it? I mean, a few of the teams look like they're bringing quite large upgrades. I know McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull have said they're bringing upgrades. Looks like from the shots we've seen, Red Bull took their car to Silverstone for a filming day. It looks like they've copied Ferrari's rotisserie chicken wing. They call it the Macarena wing, but let's face it, it's a rotisserie chicken. But from the looks of the pictures, they also have new side pods, and they did say that they are bringing a weight reduction to the car of maybe just over 5 kilos, which doesn't sound like much, but makes a big difference if your car is already overweight. So we'll see there. Ferrari have said they're quite aggressive with their changes. Haven't said what, though.
No. McLaren are meant to be bringing some, but they basically said, whilst, yes, they're hoping for a performance upgrade, they're already in a performance deficit.
Yes.
So actually, the upgrades they make might bring them on par with how everyone was before this unexpected break, but everybody else might make that extra step, so that they're expecting improvement, but they're not expecting to be catching up, I think, is the gist of what they've said. And I mean, we talked about the wing, the Ferrari wing, and you said it yourself. It might just be one of those red herrings that we see all the time in F1.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what's that part that's bolted to the back of the car there? Or, oh, what's that bit of the floor? And it's just nothing. They've done it to lure people into spending some money on development.
Now, interesting. I don't know how true this is. Interesting tidbit here that I saw today, or read today even. Obviously we've just had this, what you call it, upgrade allowance. Is it the ODU?
Yeah.
Okay.
ADU or something like that,
ADU, or however you want to say it. So obviously Mercedes is pretty much the benchmark, and then they've said anyone that is 10% behind, was it 5, 10%?
I think it's like 3%, isn't it? It's not a major.
Okay. Whoever is that far behind is allowed an upgrade So effectively to the power units and all that. Ferrari have been granted that, but then so have like Audi, Aston Martin. But when they've checked the Red Bull, they said that the Red Bull is actually, they think, on par with the Mercedes, if not slightly more powerful. And if they were to upgrade the Red Bull, it would actually push the Mercedes into that upgrade window, which is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah.
But that isn't where I was going with that. So, right.
So it's for a power unit manufacturer that's 2% below the leading.
Okay, 2%.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember we discussed a few weeks ago that part on the back of the Ferrari that just covers the back of the exhaust?
Yeah.
Right. So, people think the reason that has been put on there actually decreases performance. And Ferrari knew this, which is why they put it on, which has pushed them over that 2% gap so that they can get the upgrade. And when we see the upgrade, that will have been removed. Watch this space. Now,
that is sneaky. That is sneaky.
I'm serious,
if that's
right?
true, that's sneaky.
I read that and I was like, really? But honestly, because people had a bit of science behind it for the fact of what it's doing to the airflow and the exhaust flow and all that. But they're basically saying it creates back pressure on that plate for the exhaust, and so would push it into that upgrade window. But after the upgrade, that'll be removed. So watch for it. It could be complete lies. But
Yeah.
Watch for it.
If that is true, that is actually 200 IQ from Ferrari.
I mean, somebody else have got to give them that idea, because Ferrari wouldn't come up with that on their own. I bet you it was Lamborghini. I bet you.
found it on a napkin in the middle of a Torino or
just
something.
got it off a Lamborghini tractor and went, that's clever. It's like one of the flaps, on a big diesel tractor, and it does this on top of the exhaust. But yeah, honestly, watch for it, because it was really interesting, and it wasn't just like it wasn't like a Facebook post from Jeff. It was a proper bit of it sounded clever. It could just be a wild conspiracy theory.
Jeff, who makes 250 predictions a day on F1, and he gets one right. And he's the guy. Yeah. He's the guy.
That's it. You see, to be fair, I did think when I was listening to it, I was like, I'd enjoy this sat around a campfire, with my tinfoil hat on. But it does look good, so I'm going to be watching out for that. To be fair, that's one for me.
I'll tell you what, I did read today, and it was obviously talking about all these upgrades coming into Miami, and I was like, really? In an interview, Fred Vasseur basically was talking about all these upgrades coming and stuff like that, and there was one line that stuck out to me, and I was like, why were you even talking about that? It's coming back to the battery and things like that. It's like, well, everyone will have had time to work on the software. I was like, what? So you basically said the boffin, everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, we upgrade this energy management software as well. Like, you're talking about software upgrades as well as hardware upgrades now, and you're like,
yeah.
Oh, so they're going to be running Windows 11 now? I mean, what?
Yeah.
Are we moving to Linux? I don't know. But I was like, that is not a sentence that belongs in the upgrades are coming compartment of F1. Really. And I was like, okay. It was in the same article where McLaren were talking about, their stuff coming and still kind of being in that deficit. But it just caught me off guard. I was like, oh, what a Ferrari was like. Oh, everyone's all been on the software.
Yeah, how boring.
Okay.
Do you reckon you see a picture of Bill Gates sat there with a laptop and a bowl of pasta? Do you reckon that's what it is?
Bill Gates. Do you have to log into FIA.com and download the latest firmware?
What happens if before the race you forget your login and it's just like access denied? Do you know what I mean?
You see them sitting there with
thumb on the spoiler.
They're sitting there with their 2-factor authentication.
Oh man! How would you control alt delete on a steering wheel? How would you do that?
But it just caught me off guard reading the article. I was like, okay, so someone's bringing a wing, someone's bringing, a little bit of an upgrade to the engine, someone's got a new floor.
Somebody's bringing a USB pen.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What on
That's
earth?
it, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, it just really caught me off guard. But it will be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
With all of this gap, because there's been no increase in the cap. There's been no extra track time allowed officially. But
Been a lot of camera days.
We've seen a lot of camera days. But it'll be very interesting to see what upgrades everyone is bringing.
Yes.
On Friday, I get the feeling we're going to see a lot of the cars looking a little bit different in the first session. In the first session on Friday, we may see some parts on in the first session and then remove for the second session because they just haven't done what they're supposed to.
Yeah, of course.
But it'll all come to play, as you say, in the sprint.
Definitely.
Which will be, it's kind of, whether you like sprints or not, it's kind of cool that the first race that all the cars are going to be trying new upgrades on is one where they can just go as quick as they can. Battery management aside, it's going to be a race where actually it's just about shredding the tires as much as they can for however many laps, and then because you'll probably get a better view at how quick the cars are with the latest battery upgrades, and we'll see if there's like a different pecking order after the few weeks off. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing how this season pans out. I don't think this will be the last of the changes, but I just think with these regulations, there's not much they can do. Do you know what I mean? There will be little tweaks as we go, but at some point you've got to just go, do you know what? This year just is what it is, and we'll just crack on, because otherwise it's going to be, every 4 or 5 races. Oh, we're going to tweak them again. Qualifying will now be this, qualifying will now be that, and you do need a consistent set of rules through the season.
Yeah.
So we can't keep changing it all the time, but it just needs to be consistent.
Yeah, I think
it's got to be.
This is meant to be like the first of a couple of phases.
Yes.
But what I really hope for, and these Stefano Dominicelli interviews aren't giving me much hope for it, but what I do hope for is they get past the gaslighting and they just admit that they've made a mistake with the regs.
Yeah.
And just say, listen, we're going to go through a painful year or two.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do in 28 or 27, 28, whatever, is we're going to go back to mainly an ICE component car.
Yeah.
Keep the rest of the car exactly the way it is. I like the smaller cars. I like the active aero, all of that. But I just hope they'll get past the gaslighting part and actually get back to understanding what the core audience wants.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, even if we had to, if they said we've completely heard everyone, we can't change the regulations fully for 27, but from 28 we are going to have, whether it's V8s or whatever it is, on fully sustainable fuel. But you know what? We're going to do away with the battery completely because we're now on fully sustainable fuel. Still have your active aero, all that, but get rid of the battery side entirely. It's just a big fat engine with a driver, because that's what it used to be, and that's what it should be. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't even mind if they went, we're going to throw a V8 in it, but we are going to strap a small battery to it for ERS. I wouldn't even mind that. Wouldn't even mind
at a maximum.
That.
Yeah.
To give that extra little bit. But both cars have got the active aero, so it's not one car's got DRS, one car hasn't. One's just got a little bit of extra battery to maybe make something happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But the other car's got exactly the same battery to defend against it.
Cool.
So that's what I hope for. But these gaslighting interviews don't give me too much hope for it.
No, I completely agree.
And I guess it's very early in the season. even though it doesn't feel like it because we've had this massive break.
Yeah.
So maybe they are in that. Let's gaslight them for a bit and see if it comes good.
Yeah.
And maybe at the halfway point they'll go, yeah, the gaslighting's not working. It hasn't come good.
Yeah, I mean,
we can
don't
change
forget,
tack.
after Miami, we've got another 3-week break.
I know.
So the only good side of that is the fact that they'll see how Miami performs and goes, we've got 3 weeks to make another couple of tweaks. Do you know what I mean? It's not it's not going to be like a 3-race, 3 weekends.
Yeah.
So it might help, actually. It might help.
Yeah.
But I'd hope so. I'm trying to look on the bright side.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. But that was kind of all that came out of the April 20th announcements. Like
Yes.
Steps in the right direction, but as you say, it's all he can do, really. He can't really just change things up straight away. But we did have some other big news track-wise.
Yes.
That is Turkey is back. Istanbul Park is back from 2027.
Oh, yeah.
So that's two tracks returning, Portimao in Portugal. And Istanbul Park. Which, I mean, Turkey's put some good races on in the past. I mean, it was last on 2021, was it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And it's a good track, and I think it's a good addition. It's a shame that another good track's got to leave for Portimao and Turkey to come on.
Yeah.
In Zandvoort. Zandvoort's off the menu as of the end of this season.
Yep.
Which is good. It's all those banked corners, all those like quick sections throughout. Fantastic racing there. But I think it's
I mean, Vegas is only on the calendar until 27. I'm sure that will be extended with it being so new.
Yeah.
But I think what pains me is you look at Zandvoort ending in 2026, and then you've got Mexico ending 28. That will probably be extended.
Yeah.
But then you've got tracks like Monaco 2035. Great.
Yeah, I've got them up in the corner for everyone to see it. Like, what's interesting to me though is Portimao comes back next year, but it's only for 27-28 as it stands.
Yeah. Well, which isn't it? Zandvoort that's meant to be on alternative years, because that's what they announced when they took it off the calendar. So it's meant to be missing 27, back in 28, missing 29, back in 30. That's what they said originally when it was coming off the calendar. It was going to be alternate years. I could be wrong, but I'm sure that's what it said. So I thought maybe Portugal was going to be alternate years.
So apparently the last schedule race currently 2026. Portugal's confirmed for 2 years, which is replacing Zandvoort.
Right. Okay.
So I do remember reading that about Zandvoort going alternate, but it looks like it's 2 years for Portugal. Right. So whether we'll see a return to Zandvoort after that and then they'll alternate.
So what is Turkey replacing? Chicken?
I don't think it's replacing anything because there's only Zandvoort coming off the calendar. It's an additional race.
25 race season.
Possibly. It makes you wonder because when they've announced it, they've not mentioned any.
When's it coming back?
Next year.
Oh, for 27?
27, yeah.
Oh.
So it's back for 27 through to 2031. So that's not an alternating one. That is. Goes back in.
Okay.
So.
All right. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Okay. Why is Turkey back on the calendar? Trying to look. So I missed kind of thing here. The F1's 2027 calendar has not yet been confirmed. However, following the 24 events are known to be expecting to take place. And I cannot see. Oh yeah, Turkey's on there. What's missing? What is
We'll
it?
investigate that one.
We'll come back to that one. But yeah, it's saying that
Yeah.
it's 24 and Turkey was a known one.
Okay.
Okay. When was that article written? Anyway, we'll come back to it. We'll look into that, because when I read it, I was like, well, I just assumed because nothing had been mentioned that we were just getting another race, but
There's not enough batteries in the world. To
no. But it does make you wonder, because all the other tracks are essentially. So if we've missed that, we do apologise. We'll look into it. But all the other tracks are, if you look through, so I'll scroll through the contract lengths now. They are. That was too far. That was an advert for somebody's hip pain. They're all contracted through as Miami's 2041. So's Austria. The Austrian Grand Prix.
Yeah.
But like you say, Monaco 2035. And if you look at the I mean, these are obviously most of them will renew their contracts. But
yeah.
At risk in the next coming years, Singapore, Japan, Vegas, Mexico. Portimao's only just come back on. That may just be the test in the water, and then they'll bid on another contract. But I would gladly sacrifice Monaco to keep all of them on the calendar.
Do you know what? If we made it alternate years, I'd be made up. I could take that.
Yeah. When I was looking through the contracts, I was like 2041. So we've got another, after this year, another 15 years of Austria, another 15 years of Miami.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, Turkey back on the menu.
Yeah.
Portimao back on the menu. A couple of good additions.
Yeah.
Which is always great to see. That was the other little bit of track news. And then there's just been a lot of like updates on certain stuff. So the other week we talked about Jonathan Wheatley leaving Audi.
Yes.
And expecting him to be announced to Aston Martin. I haven't seen anything on that.
No.
But Audi have not replaced him with a new team principal. Instead, Matteo Binotto has kind of just absorbed that role into his already existing role. He has appointed a racing director. So Alan McNish has basically just been promoted to his race director because of his other role. Binotto can't be at every race.
Yeah.
But as I was saying to you before we went live, wasn't I? The rumor mill. Don't know how true it is. You know, it's the F1 rumor mill. But
yeah,
Jonathan Wheatley apparently wasn't happy with the fact that he wasn't really given team principal powers. He was kind of team principal by name, but not in the nature of it. So that may have been part of the reason that he walked away. The fact that Binotto feels like he can just absorb that role into his current thing kind of makes me feel it was already him mainly calling the shots.
I would have thought so. Yeah.
Then just feeling like, I'll just promote somebody to be my kind of proxy on race days when I can't make it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So some of you may remember McNish if you've been an F1 fan for a long time. He did race for 1 year with Toyota back in like early 2000s, 2001, 2002. So like 1 year the Toyota.
Yeah.
So he's an F1 driver by that standard. But he's been their lead driver development. So he's got experience. He's been in the F1 world for a while, so he knows what he's doing. But it just felt odd that Binotto was like, "I'll do the job as well as what I'm doing," and then I saw the rumor of the Jonathan Wheatley thing. I was like, "Okay, putting two and two together." Kind of coming up with 4, maybe completely wrong. I may have got 26, but
I get you.
But that was the other kind of rumor and gossip that kind of come out of that. The immortal Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, he's staying on, isn't he?
He wants to stay on beyond 2026. The dude's going to be 94 and like signing for some obscure F1 team on the grid and just be like, no, this is fine. And still probably outperforming his teammate.
It's not hard.
Yeah, he said in an interview he doesn't feel like the time's come. Like, hopefully it's not his last season. And what he's basically said is the time will come, and he'll feel when it comes. He'll know when it's time for him to walk away.
That's fair enough.
And I just think, like, all jokes aside on the Lance Stroll thing, but if you are consistently outperforming your teammate, and your teammate's younger, and you've got all the experience that you've got, why would you feel like that? Why would you even feel like walking away?
Why would you?
If you love doing it and you're getting paid well for doing it, just make a joke about like the time will come, I'll feel it. I'll be like, so Lance Stroll's finished ahead of you in the points. I've had my day, guys.
Yeah,
thanks very much. I'll off to the sun I go.
Oh yes, completely agree. Yeah.
And then I think there was just other talk of how much the upgrades are going to change the pecking order and stuff. Surprisingly, considering there's been a lot of work going on in the background, there doesn't seem to be a lot of talk.
No.
A lot of like rumors and things kind of floating around. I did see there was an interview with George Russell. There's been a couple, but the one I saw recently when he was basically asked about, would he consider playing mind games with Kimi Antonelli? And fair play to him. He's like, I wouldn't want to win that way.
Yeah.
I was like, fair play. He's like, I'd rather go wheel to wheel with him and best driver win kind of thing, which is kind of good.
Yeah, it's mainly because Russell can't play mind games to save his life. That's why he can't do it.
Having a battle of wits, and he's clearly unarmed.
No, I think Russell's mind can only do one thing, and that's drive. And that's a compliment. He's a good driver. But when it comes to trying to play the game psychologically with other drivers, he hasn't got a clue, man. He hasn't got a clue at all. He just can't. He can't understand how dumb the things he is saying. He can't get it. It's the same as when he was speaking about MACH, was it last week or the week before? And he said, well, when my car was performing bad in 22 and it was porpoising and all this, Max wasn't complaining then, was he? And it's like, no, George, you've missed the point. I'm sorry, fella.
Yeah.
That car was not bad because of regulations. It was bad because it was a bad design. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Max is not complaining because his Red Bull is performing poorly. He's complaining because of the regulations. And every team, every driver is suffering in their own way with it. There's a big difference. And at the time, when Russell and Hamilton were suffering with that, Russell wasn't sitting there going, well, if Hamilton doesn't like it, he can go and retire, doesn't have to be it. He wasn't saying that. but he is saying it about Max now, and I just think, oh, Russell, man, you need to think about what you're saying. Do you know what I mean? I understand his frustration, and of course, Russell is thinking, I don't want the regulations to change right now because I've actually got a chance at winning a championship, and I understand that. But don't make ridiculous arguments that are based on nothing but your pea-headed brain. It's so frustrating. He's a great driver, but please stop letting him do interviews. He makes himself look so dumb. It's unreal.
I saw that, and I said to you, didn't I? It's like he's just missed it completely.
Yeah,
he does not understand, or he's trying not.
Yeah.
Maybe that he does not understand. He's just trying to justify him not wanting anything to change.
Of course.
Because one was just a clearly bad car design.
Yeah.
Clearly bad car design. The other is bad regs, which is affecting everyone. But like you say, because he's out the front, he might not be enjoying driving the cars, but being out front makes everything so much better.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you're winning, you can kind of take the pain a bit more. Understandable, completely understandable.
He's just missing. He's missing what Max is saying. Max isn't complaining about the Red Bull. He's complaining about the regulation isn't nice to drive. That's the difference. Don't get me wrong. He's not happy with the Red Bull. I'm not saying that he is, but he's not sitting there saying, "Well, Red Bull have completely missed it with this car, so I'm not enjoying it." He's saying these regulations are not enjoyable to drive, and yes, we've got a lot of work to do on the car. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's two-sided, that, isn't it?
I wonder, like one says, like, I wonder if he's not missed that at all.
Right.
But he's trying to downplay it and compare it, if you get me. So, like, it doesn't matter because I had a bad car and they were fine then. Like, he's not missed what people are complaining about. He's just trying to compare apples to oranges and hoping people take his side with it. Which anybody who knows the sport isn't they're going to go, no, clearly you had a crap car and they had a good car, but you were both working in the same regs and it was fine. Like that was the thing. It's like now everyone's saying the cars just aren't fun to drive, and the only ones that aren't saying that are the ones who will win it.
Yeah, you see, I think that's definitely part of it, but I think a lot of the time they just don't think through what they're saying. Russell's one for it. Hamilton did it a few years ago. It was when Red Bull were dominating in 22, looking at 23, and it might have been 23, 24. And Hamilton turned around and said, well, they shouldn't be allowed to work on next year's car yet because they're so dominant. That's not fair. And it's like, you didn't say that at Mercedes. Do you know what I mean? That's not how it worked for you.
Yeah.
And
that 1 year engine.
I thought you forgot about that.
That 1 year engine development cycle with the FIA. No, don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, as Hamilton just stood there like, I thought you forgot we did that.
Oh, no.
You just think, come on, just, you know what I mean? Be clever with your criticism. Just think it through before you open your mouth because it's so stupid. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to being back on track, and I'm hoping this weekend is a bit of a reset for the season. Yeah. People have brought upgrades. There's been a couple of tweaks. Let's see. I'm really hopeful this might make a good difference to the racing. Really hopeful.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I think the last bit of news, really, and it's F1 adjacent.
Ooh.
Is Max's dad has been up to no good. He had a massive off. He was doing rally.
He did.
Luckily, he's unhurt. But if you've seen the video of it, it was a huge off. I'm sure Max is not angry. He's just disappointed.
I'm sure.
But yeah, I sent you the video before we went live.
Yes.
He manages to rip the back corner off the car and put it on its roof.
But
he's okay.
I mean,
but
if you're going to do it properly.
Do it properly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Clearly, Max got his driving skills from his mum. But no, I mean that is a juicy crash. But for one, it shows just how hard he was pushing. and it also shows just how safe those rally cars are these days.
Yeah.
I mean, they are unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, that was
Yeah.
massive. And you look at the actual structure of the car, like the back's gone everything, but that roll frame,
Yeah.
the roll cage is solid, absolutely solid.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's funny because like his personality aside, I was a massive fan of Jos Verstappen when he was in F1. When he was with Arrows, he was my favorite driver, like the underdog type of thing. And yeah, he could always drive, but he's obviously still got the bug for it. But yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
massive off, but glad he's okay. Yeah, I think that kind of wraps up the news bits. But unless there's anything
No.
you've gone now.
So should we explain a little bit about what we did last week then?
Yeah.
So now you will have to bear with us because we used our new camera that we bought and microphones for going out and about. We have invested in them so we can bring you some high quality video and audio. As we've looked at the clips, there is, as far as we can see, only 2 clips that are missing the audio, so we can only apologize for that. So there might be a slight voiceover to those, or we might just not use those clips. We'll see. But basically, the reason we went, so it's the MACH show in the NEC in Birmingham. It's on every 2 years, and I've always gone because it is the latest and greatest in machining and engineering technology, which I am a precision engineer. I'm a 5-axis miller, and I can honestly say I love what I do. It fascinates me to no end. So when I see shows like this, I just think I have to go because you wouldn't believe how much the technology changes when the show's on, and it's only every 2 years. And you think, well, it can't change that much. You wouldn't believe it. It is absolutely unreal. So we thought we were going anyway, as we always go. So we would take you along for the ride. And so we have filmed some footage, which will come after this conversation. But there were some of the F1 cars there as well, weren't there?
Yeah.
So, yeah, at the beginning of the video, the first one we saw was actually at a Castrol stand. And that was the Audi Formula One car, which I must say, the color scheme is still ugly in person.
Yeah.
The car itself is incredible to behold.
Yeah.
But even though these cars are smaller, you do just think they are still massive. Do you know what I mean? They are still huge, but smaller than they used to be. But there were some other manufacturers as well that you'll see during the video. But some of the cool technologies we got to see, there is a small clip of some additive machining or 3D printing, as it's called, but not with your Bamboo Labs. We're talking proper steel. And that is, we actually managed to see some 3D printed pistons as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which is what it sounds like Mercedes have used for these compression ratio changing pistons. Obviously, yet to be confirmed, but that is the word on the street, if you like. But we found it absolutely fascinating, didn't we? I mean, some of the technologies that were around, absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, you look at, so anybody watching on YouTube, you can see those machines behind Mark on it in his background, making it look like he's in his workshop.
Yeah.
They are tiny in comparison to some of the machines that we saw. They're
imaginary.
They in comparison to some of the machines that we saw, and some of the size of some of the jobs that they could do, it was incredible, and the speed at which they do it is just phenomenal. Mark was just like just like a pig in muck, like the whole day.
Oh yes.
But from like the smaller machines, all the kind of the mills and things like that, all the way through to the larger machines, you could see where some of that technology is used in F1. That's one of the reasons we wanted to kind of attach it to this. Some of the bits are not going to be F1 related at all. Like the closest it's like a hash badge. That's why it's related. But
yeah.
But some of it is absolutely right. So like Castrol, as you say, like with the Audi, they're officially Audi's lubricant and oil partner. So they were there, and we had a nice chat with one of the guys there, and they gave us permission to kind of video around the car a little bit, which is fantastic and really nice of them. We're really grateful for that. And then there was we went through, and there's like an educational section.
Yes.
Which is fantastic for young people looking to get into STEM fields. So your science, tech, engineering, all of that, mathematics, all of that. And there was one young guy there who is being sent up. Was it to Singapore? He's going. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
For like the World Championship programming and machining.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So effectively, just to give you a little bit of background to that, so what they do is they have an apprenticeship program. They start these young people out on manual machines, and then they graduate them to CNC machines. And effectively, they pick the 2 best ones out of their class, if you like, and they go to the World Championships. And they get given a task within 4 hours. They'll get given a drawing and a 3D model of a part. The example he's shown us was a fighter jet, and they have to program and machine the entire part with no special fixturing, no nothing, in 4 hours. And they are graded on fit, finish, size, and everything like that. And in 4 hours, I've got to tell you, that is fantastic. That for people who haven't been in the industry too long, it is absolutely brilliant. And the way they're invested in these young people, they will go on to great things.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's part of the reason why I love machining. Is it's when you get a part and you think, well, I wonder what it does. And if you get the opportunity to find out, or you ask the customer, you're like, really? Wow. And you can't help it. I mean, I've been doing this 22 years. That's a horrible thought. And I just, have I? Yeah. And I just think, do you know what? I'm still enjoying it as much as I was 22 years ago. And that's part of the reason why I love Formula One. I love most, if it's motorsport and things like that. It's why I love cars. It's why I'm a bit of a petrol head. I can see what's gone into building it. And somebody has sat down and designed that and put all of their passion and love into that thing. And that's what I absolutely adore about it. But that's why I always preferred the slightly older cars as well, because it was just this masterpiece of engineering. You weren't worried about batteries or deployment rates or, forget all that. It was man and machine, and I love that. You know what I mean? But this is what we wanted to show you a bit more of what goes into making things as well. And like I say, it's something we go to anyway. We didn't make a special journey, especially for you. No offense.
No.
But, if it's something people would like to see more of, or something a bit more in depth, we will always be going back. And the other side of that is as well, I do work in a machine shop. I'm sure I might be able to film a little bit of content if it's something people wanted to see. But we'll leave that down to other people. If it is something you would like to see, I'm sure we could sort a little something. Yeah.
And in the video footage, you will see Mark attempting a wheel change on a Formula Renault. You'll. There was. I mean, it was the guy. I think the guy kindly said, it's not too bad.
Well, I think it was. Yeah, it was about. Was it 17 seconds quicker than one of the other times? And I was like, yeah, but did this guy only have one arm? I mean, how good am I supposed to feel about that? I wouldn't mind him. A practice one was brilliant.
It was.
And then when he did me timed one, it was like I lost the wheel somewhere.
So you were trying to get it on the hub. It was like,
it was doing my head in. They make it look so easy, at the F1 race.
And we also got to do a little bit of sim racing, which was fun.
It's fun for you.
There's no video footage of any ops by me, so none happened.
Because I was kind of cut them out.
I had a big off, and then all I heard from behind me was, "Oh, I wasn't recording." Yeah, so we did a little bit of that. So, and then, like you say, the additive machine, that thing that fascinates me, because I can see when you make a part, when you program a machine apart, and you see the billet, and then it comes out, and the finished product is right there, and you can see like all the edges have been perfectly cut, and like you expect that's the form of it. That is actually the form of it.
Yeah.
But if you've ever seen anything 3D printed, like even on a normal like PLA or whatever else you use, the edges aren't always clearly defined, and it doesn't look like it's been made out of a solid block. If you can always tell it's been layered.
Yeah.
But looking at some of that 3D printed stuff, you're like, the only way you could tell that it was not made from a solid piece is when you saw those kind of cutouts, and you could see the channels and everything in and things like that. And it's so impressive.
Yeah, so what you tend to find is the 3D printed parts, you can tell that they're not machined. They almost look cast because the outside of them it's always dull. It has a texture to it, almost like it's been shot blasted. It's quite rough on the outside. So things like 3D printed pistons and things like that, yes, they will be 3D printed, if you like, or additive machining, whichever one you want to call it. But then they would be machined to finish. The plus side of 3D printing those parts is the fact that all the internals can be lighter. They can even be hollow, which you wouldn't normally do. If you wanted something that was hollow, you would have to make it out of an assembly, and it'd have to be several parts then bolted together. You're not going to make pistons that way. So things like 3D printed pistons, they will be 3D printed and then machined to finish. But inside that machined part, it could be hollow. It could have oil galleries, you name it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, if you can imagine, so I don't know if we'll be able to put a little picture up on screen. If you can imagine back in the old days, on a steam train, you had a boiler at the front, and it was effectively one giant tube, and then in amongst it, you'd have like 150 smaller tubes. And all of that would have been separate plates, separate tubes, inserted, whether they were welded in place or whether they were, sort of peened and crimped or whatever they were. Whereas now you could 3D print effectively that boiler out of one solid piece, and it'd still have all those hollow sections in and all that. And that's the kind of thing you can achieve with the 3D printing. There is actually an amazing video. SpaceX and NASA actually asked an AI to design them the most efficient rocket engine possible. And bear in mind, it's 3D printed. It must only be about that diameter. And when you see that thing fire up, it is the most incredible thing you have ever seen. And it looks like it's come down and crash landed from outer space, this rocket. You would never design it to look like that. But again, because it's 3D printed, all of the valves and everything are inside the inner body. It's one piece. Absolutely outstanding, I tell you. It looks incredible. Yeah.
Like, we're coming back to the part. Like say, it looked like, it does look cast, as you say. What I mean is, like, it doesn't look like printed in any way, shape, or form. It looked. It just. I was looking at it going, because I remember a few years, maybe not the last time we went, but the time before, when it was just in its infancy, and there was like one machine like, and you're like, yeah, that's been printed. That's additive, and you're like, 4 years later, in that short time, it's now like this incredibly precise thing.
So they're two different types, right?
Right. Okay.
So additive machining, you would have let's say powdered steel. Let's just say steel, keep it simple, nothing specific. Powdered steel, and you would have a small nozzle like a 3D printer, and you would have a base of the same material. and then you would build on the plate, and it would gradually, almost, it looked like welding. You had a spark. It would, like it was going to weld it, and it would build up like that. So it was basically 3D printed. That's why you got that finish. This stuff we're seeing now, like what they've done the pistons with, is called additive machining. So what that does is, instead, that is like it's like a flat plate, and a little pad comes over and spreads one layer of material over it, and then a laser from the very top will laser that, and that turns it into a solid steel. It will then drop down, say whatever you've got it, 0.1 of a mil, another set of powder, laser, drop, another set of powder, laser. So you don't get that layered effect. And it was the same. So that is how they did the brake calipers for the Bugatti Chiron. They are 3D printed brake calipers. And if you see them, they are a work of art. And you won't even see them. They're behind a wheel. Do you know what I mean? But they're incredible.
Like, so that's where I was kind of going a bit thingy with it, because the last one I saw was that kind of looked like a welder spark every single time, and it was still impressive. It was still amazing.
Oh yeah,
I hadn't got onto that laser part of that one. Like that's even more. That's even more amazing. But what's the thing? Lasering. There was a small little Haas laser machine.
Yes, there was. I want one.
And it was really cool. And they were kind of sparking off these little cards. And as we were leaving, Mark was chatting to the guy, and I was dead cheeky. He went, "Can I nick one of those cards?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." And then they actually laser printed one for Mark at the time. But it was, you can see that on the
look at that.
The Haas, the TGR Haas. It's really cool. Yeah, that was laser printed, and so what? 30 seconds to do your one.
If that.
Yeah, if that. Like, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Got a little souvenir from the day.
Yeah, but obviously all this footage will be after we've finished talking anyway. But it was fascinating.
Yeah.
And it just shows you what goes into building these machines. It really does. I mean, we've in the place where I work, I won't tell you where that is, we have made counterweights for Formula One cars out of tungsten carbide. They are rock hard to machine, and they weigh so much for such small billets. It's unbelievable. But when you get them and you're like, when it says counterweight Formula One car, front, rear, whatever, and you're like, oh wow, never get to know what team it was off.
Yeah.
But you know, it was absolutely incredible, and you're so chuffed when you know your parts are going on something so incredible. But that's the same, you know, whether it's aircraft or what. It's knowing what things do. It brings an absolute smile to my face. So to learn more about how things are made, you know, it's just brilliant, and that's why we wanted to give you all an insight into a bit more into it. And obviously, if it's something you want to see more of, like I say, I'm sure we can do something about that. To be fair,
yeah, definitely. I always enjoy going. It's not my field, but it's absolutely incredible. Every year there's something to blow your mind. But yeah, I can see why you get so excited about it when we're there. And yeah, it's a fantastic thing. And as you say, it's about showing you guys who are watching and listening to this a little more of who we are. We sit here and we kind of, you know, like talking heads, talking about F1, but you get to see a little bit of what makes us. Down the line, we might share a little bit of what I do through the week with my content creation. We might even make it, you know, racing specific, because we do like a little bit of sim racing. But yeah, we just want to kind of share more of what we do with you guys, so you know where we're coming from, what our backgrounds are, what our thoughts are on things, and you can get a better picture of who the social media stewards are. But we hope you enjoy the footage. As Mark said, some might have audio, some might not. We might throw a voiceover, or in the editing, I may have chosen to throw some music over it. I don't know yet because I've not been able to look at it properly. But thank you for listening to us again. Next week we will be back with our Miami review. Excited to see all the upgrades, all of the updates to the regs, and see how they work with the racing. Thank you, as always, for listening to us. Thank you for the support on all the videos. Thank you for all your interactions. We greatly appreciate it. We'll leave you with the footage of the MACH 2026 show. And until next time, thanks for listening and take care.
Good morning and welcome to a special episode of Social Media Stewards. We are here today at the MACH show 2026. Now you might wonder why. Well, as many of you'll know, I'm a precision engineer. That's my full-time job. But the other side of that is, well, what goes into Formula One? Well, it's precision engineering. And well, look at what we've just found. The 2026 Audi F1 car here at the Castrol stand. And what an absolute joy it is to see this thing in person. It's an awful lot bigger than what you would think it is. But it is absolutely incredible to behold. This is stunning. Now, I still don't like the colour in person, but it is absolutely beautiful. But I don't think you realise just how big these cars are. When we see them on track, they certainly don't look that big. But, I mean, when it's 4 lanes wide, it's not going to, is it? But as we go through this show, we'll not only show you what other motorsport things are around, but we shall also show you some of the machines that are used to make it. So as some of you will remember, earlier on this season we had a lot of queries over Mercedes pistons and with what they're doing with their compression ratio. Now this is actually additive machining, so it's effectively 3D printed out of steel. You can do it out of all different types, Inconels, stainlesses, titaniums, and these are actually automotive pistons. So obviously these aren't Formula One, but you can see where you've got all these little gaps in the castings, and that'll actually show you. Just, you couldn't machine that in. There's no way you would machine that in. They are inside of the part. So this is where they're getting an advantage. Now, if you look at, say, these components down here, they've got little cutaways in the top, and you can see all of their little galleries on the inside, all cut away. And you could not do that through standard machining. That is a gain by using 3D printing. That's exactly what Mercedes have done. Very clever, and it's very new technology. Yeah, go on then. I don't think I'll beat McLaren. Okay then.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's getting this one.
Okay.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
No, epic fail. Nope.
Yeah,
There we go. Just lost somebody at race, haven't I?
Alright.
So we're here at the University of Wolverhampton stand, and they've got a simulator. This is iRacing, and Ray's in a Radical. He's currently just on his out lap. We'll see how well he handles it. I'll bring you back just as he's about to start his fast lap. Okay, coming up to start his fast lap now. Let's see what he can do. Seems to be going the right way around the track. That's a good start. There you go, hard braking. Ooh. Hey, he's doing well. Oh, go on, foot hard down. Heavy braking for the right-hander. Yes, go on. He's doing a good job. Heavy braking for the right now. Oh, yes. Nicely done. Oh, yeah. It's a very tidy lap. Can he keep it together for the final chicane? Yes. And there it is. What was that time there?
108.308.
108.3.
Mark is just setting out on his out lap here, folks. We get one out lap and then a hot lap. I recorded a 108 with one slight moment on my out lap, but let's see how Mark adapts to it now. There we go. There's our little moments. You can't park there, mate. Yeah, it's on iRacing, a little bit different to what we're used to, but actually felt quite good putting it around the track. There we go, just getting a feel for the accelerator coming out of the slower corner. The exit to this chicane is going to be important for starting this hot lap. Right, here we go. Let's see how deep he goes into this first corner of the braking, right on the red. Just trying to feed it round. Tidy on the exit. And we go deep into this as well, going down 3 gears. Now it's climbing up the hill now. It kind of comes into a very kind of late braking zone as you turn left. There we go. Oh, the back end has gone. Yeah, he definitely cannot park there.
We don't have to pay for damage, do we?
It's not real. He crashed the one out there. Well, there's one
I think that means that I've won this challenge. But,
I think you've won this challenge, but
I'll take that. You see, end the lap strong, deep into the chicane, and then powering out. Good effort with one slightly overexcited moment.
overexcited. That's all it was. I'll tell you what though, it's a nice wheel.
Yeah, it's a very nice wheel, the Moser racing wheel.
Comfy as well. I like that. Thank you very much.
So you get one more. Says you get one for
Right, we're here at McLaren Racing to see if Ray can beat Spider-Man at his own game. How many pads can he hit in 30 seconds? For a blind old guy, he's not doing too bad. Go on, fella. There we go. Hey, I tell you what. Spider-Man's got nothing on him. Hey, well done. 40 from Ray. Well done. Whilst we're here at McLaren, look at some of these little components on the McLaren stand, showing off some of their parts that have been made for their cars over the time. On the stand, we do actually have last year's car as well. If I can just squeeze past, there we go. And this is the constructors' winning car from last year, from 2025, and it is massive in person. It is absolutely massive. If only we started these fast cars this year in 2026. Got a nice Aston Martin V8 Vantage here. It's the only Aston Martin to currently be proud of. Certainly is one in Formula One. Look at the colour of that. That is an absolute work of art. Look at that. Oh yes. And luckily, when this one's running, it doesn't vibrate. Oh yes. Beautiful.
Hey folks, here we've got the LP from the last set of regulations. You can see from the front wing just how complicated they were pre the 2026 regulations and how wide the front wheels are compared to this season's. And if you go back, you can see how complicated they actually were. Looking for that aerodynamic edge, all the different barge boards and different bits of carbon fibre that just protruding everywhere on the floor, trying to guide that air. And then like it looks slightly more simplistic rear wing, but it's an absolute beauty of a car. It's just a shame that this one didn't really perform for them. Yeah, amazing bit of kit.
Now we know this isn't Formula One, but what an absolute piece of art. Old Jaguar E-Type. Look at this. Absolutely stunning. It's the craftsmanship that went into this car. Absolutely beautiful. Old V12 Series 3. Always love the old E-Types. There's definitely a dream car on the list. We shall have to save up for future. Look at this. Oh yes. So we've just come to the end of our day at the MACH show, and it's been an awful lot of walking, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It's been a long day, because we set off at, I picked you up 6:15 this morning?
Yeah.
You reckon? Yeah. And it is now 3:25, so we're a little bit tired, but we have just enjoyed a nice little slice of lemon drizzle cake. Not the highlight of the day though, I'll give you that.
No.
We've seen some cracking technology today, haven't we?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, we were here 2 years ago, and it's amazing to see like the leap in how far the tech comes, like every 2 years. It's like there's so much automation involved with a lot of the machines now, and like some of the smaller machines that you say you've got like older versions of them that you use that are now like running at crazy speeds. And
the thing is that normal machining, it's evolving so fast. Apart from, it's not even just that the machines speed up, because you can still only cut certain materials at certain speeds. It doesn't matter how fast your machine is. The tooling behind it and the work holding. So what I mean by that is things like your vices and your chucks and your fixture and all that. They are absolutely they're nowhere near where they were 2 years ago. They're in a different planet. And then you get to additive machining, or additive manufacturing, like 3D printing. It's not, it's not on your Bamboo Labs. It's not your PLA and your PETG.
No.
You're talking about 3D printing engine components, and this is where, as we'll add in a clip that we recorded before, this is where you'll see how Mercedes have supposedly got this compression ratio boost, is because they've 3D printed pistons with oil galleries built inside the piston you would never normally be able to machine. And you think the only reason you can expose loopholes like that is because the technology, some boffin has sat there and thought, do you know what would be clever? And it is. You can't deny it. That is clever.
It's amazing.
Do you know what I mean?
You might think that because it's being 3D printed that it's going to be weaker than like a machined part, but it isn't. The way they're printed, the strength, because it's one part.
Yeah.
It's just one part. The strength is there. You were saying before about like you'd have to kind of make channels and put parts in if you were machining it from metal, like from a billet.
Oh yeah.
So what they've done with the pistons at Mercedes is remarkable.
Yeah.
And yeah, you will have seen like in the video that we recorded that with Mark explaining how it's done. You might have been thinking, well, why are they showing us machines on an F1 podcast? Well, we've seen Audi, Alpine, McLaren today, all here represented because and Haas, they didn't bring a car, but their machining is all done by themselves.
Yeah.
It's all the technology that brings these cars to life.
That's it. And I mean, the thing is, all right, it doesn't particularly have anything to do with Formula One, I suppose, in a long shot. But we more thought, we come to this anyway, because it's what I do as my full-time job. I am very passionate about it because it's a job that I really enjoy, and it's partially what leans me towards Formula One. It is the pinnacle of automotive engineering, and that's what leans me towards it. So coming to shows like this, not only is it a great networking thing and I get to meet new people who are also passionate about it, but it's the fact that I get to see the latest and greatest in technology that goes into these cars, things like the 3D printing where they've managed it at Mercedes. But the other side that you don't really see at shows like this is there's additive machining where on the machine they will physically, it's almost like welding, if you like, and they will build the part, but you can build it in multiple materials, and then once you put that head away, if you like, it'll bring in tools and finish machine the thing that you've just printed, if you like. It is unbelievable technology. And when you first see things like that, you think, who on earth is buying that machine? Who? Well, Formula One teams. I mean, if you look at the likes of SpaceX and NASA, they are currently testing 3D printed rocket engines that have been designed by AI, because they basically asked it, make us the most efficient rocket engine you can possibly think of, and it did. But the only way you could make it was 3D printing. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And
as well as the machines as well, we spent a little bit of time because Mark's very friendly with the guys there at Mastercam, and it's the guys that bring the programming side of it. So these things don't just come to life; they've got to be designed and built in a kind of in a program. They've got to be imagined into a 3D shape and then put it like machined. And it's so impressive to see, and you see some of the stuff. I was sat there watching the video of all of the stuff that's been programmed and then kind of made, and it's just incredible to watch it. Like there was one of them was like it was a cuckoo clock, but it was immaculate. It was almost like it had been like hand engraved. It was phenomenal. But it's not just the machining, it's the programming side of it as well, and seeing the people, and everyone here is genuinely passionate about it. It's their jobs, it's their hobbies, it's the thing that they love doing, and it's so good to see every couple of years when we get to come here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's part of the thing that always makes me laugh at when you tell people, I'm a CNC machinist. they always have the same reaction of, oh, you just put it in and hit a button, comes out a finished part, and you're like, oh, if only it was that easy. You know what I mean? That's like saying, well, if I throw all the ingredients into an oven loosely all over the oven, I'm going to end up with a cake at the end. Well, you're not, are you?
No.
You end up with a mess. But no, it's been a fascinating show, and seeing some of the technologies that are out there, it is absolutely unbelievable. And obviously, we don't know whether anybody actually wants to see this stuff. But we thought we'd give you a little insight into what we're doing and show you sort of how it sort of works to a degree. And if it is something that people would like to see more of and things like that, then we can do something a little bit more in depth in the future.
Yeah, and we did have a little bit of fun today as well. Just to see in the machines, you'll see from the clips, we got to put in a hot lap each in a radical on iRacing.
Well, you did.
Yeah, well, you got part of a hot lap.
Well, I crashed.
And we also got to test our reflexes at the McLaren Racing booth as well. And guess who won that one as well?
So, it was a bad day for Mark. That's all, yeah. Bloody Spider-Man over here.
He gets it on F1 all the time, though, so it's, it's fine.
I just wondered what it would be like to lose. You know what I mean? I just wondered. But yeah, no, we do really appreciate everyone looking at this video. We know it's a bit different to what we normally do, but we hope you enjoyed it. And if you do have any questions or anything, please do let us know in the comments section, or get in touch on our Discord or other channels.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, and thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
Take care.